KBC Channel 1, you're watching the lunchtime news, time for business, and we kick off with our interactive segment this afternoon where we are talking matters e-commerce, and to discuss with us, this is Cyrus Onyengo, who is the Chief Operations Officer at Kapu, and Kapu is an e-commerce platform in Kenya. Welcome on set, Cyrus.
Thank you so much, Irene, for having me.
What is Kapu? What is the uptake of e-commerce in Kenya?
Yeah, just to kick off first with Kapu. Kapu is an e-commerce platform for urban majority, and it helps the consumers, mainly in the cities, to save 10% of their grocery shopping when they're shopping for oil, unga, toiletries, and so on and so forth. It's very simple to shop on Kapu. It's basically you download the app, you choose what you want to buy, and then you put it basically in your basket, and then you check out, and then you pick it from the agent next to you. Going back to the second question on what is the situation of e-commerce more specifically in Kenya, when you look at the recent statistics done by Statistica, Kenya ranks 56th worldwide when it comes to e-commerce. When you come to Africa, we are number 4. As much as that statistics shows a good progress in e-commerce penetration, when you look at the number of transactions, more specifically in retail, in Kenya, which are going through e-commerce, is less than 2%. So there is great potential, yes. We see we are making progress compared to other nations, but there is a specific gap which we need to fill in by ensuring we are accelerating this.
You have told me about Kapu as an app, but then when we look at e-commerce in Kenya, there is an issue of reach, as much as you've mentioned how far we have gone. But how different is Kapu from other apps?
Yeah, exactly. So for you to win actually in e-commerce, you need to focus on being local. When you think of many innovations which have worked very well in this market, you need to ride on what is existing behavior in our communities. A good example, how we reach our end consumers, we've adopted the agent model. This agent model, if you are in the community and you have a Kabambe phone, today 50% of the phone users in Kenya have got Kabambe phones, and you want to enjoy the discounts which we have on Kapu, all you need to do, either you walk to the agent, if you have a Kabambe phone, and they will be able to place an order for you. We call it custom-assisted way of getting the online discounts. Or you can download the app. If you're among the 50% who have got the smartphone, you can download the app and then place the order by yourself. So that's one of the things which we have done to ensure that we are getting closer to to reach the consumers who are not online. But then, at the same time, when you look at the number of consumers who have got smartphones, a good number of them have got not very powerful phones. And this to ensure that you are able to adopt your app in a manner they are able to use it in a friendly manner, it's not so if it's not loading for a long time, we've made our app very small. It's small in a way, it's 60% smaller than other e-commerce apps which are operating in the country or in Africa. Then the second thing, we have digital guided screens within our app, which guides you how to select an item, where you need to put it, and how you check out. Then the number 3 thing which we've done is that we know trust is a barrier as well. So what we've done there is, you want to ensure that your payment, if you paid us, your money is safe with us. So what we've done is we have allowed our consumers to pay on delivery. So you order today, tomorrow we deliver to the agent near you. When you are collecting your goods in the nearest agent, you pay when you are collecting your goods.
Yeah, those also will order for the goods, but at the end of the day, they won't agree to them. But then, as you even touch on that, what is the future of online shopping in Kenya?
Online shopping is taking a different shape, to be honest. When you look at an addressable market in Africa, retail is about worth $500 billion. Today, 90% of those transactions are still happening offline. When you look at the modern way of shopping, supermarkets, when you look at even the biggest retail chain in Kenya, has got only 80 branches across the country. 80 branches against a population of 60 million. Still, it means this is not solving the problem. Therefore, many of the Kenyans are still shopping close home, which is more frequent, but therefore they are not benefiting from the savings which they are supposed to save. Therefore, KAPU, what we are doing is basically we are setting up KAPU stations very close in the communities. If you're in Githurai, for example, in a certain street, we have 2 agents. You just go to this agent, and then they're able to place an order for you, and then you're able to access easily what is online when you are offline.
How old is KAPU?
We've been around for 2 years. We started 2 years ago. We've covered all the neighborhoods and communities in Nairobi. We recently expanded to Eldoret, and soon we are launching other cities and in Kenya and also outside Kenya.
Any challenges we are able to incur while in business?
Yeah, there are a good number of challenges. For example, e-commerce rides on already existing infrastructure. You cannot expand e-commerce if majority of the population, they do not have access to internet. So these are some of the challenges. But good news around that is we've seen the launch of e-commerce strategy last year from the Ministry of ICT. And one of the key pillars, one of the key focus, they want to expand access to the internet. That's going to ease for us to reach to those majorities still in the urban areas who don't have access to the internet. Number 2 is the legal framework. It has to be very clear on data protection policies. Sometimes it's not very clear, like how do you actualize this? There are specific things. Majority of the work has been done. There are specific things from legal framework which needs to be clarified, to be very clear, to be launched, because we know this plays a big role in enhancing the trust between e-commerce players like us and the customers, and as well as the suppliers who are selling through our platform.
Still on the IT, everyone is going the artificial technology way. How are we leveraging technology, and specifically artificial technology, in form of business decisions?
Yeah. A good question. For the past decade, the big part of the population has been focusing on information technology, making information available, the age, the gender, and so on and so on. We have this information. And for a long period, people have been talking about artificial intelligence. How and what role can it play to transform this data into decisions? For a long time, sometimes you find an organization has got a lot of data, but they don't know what to do with that specific data. Information technology, with the information we have, adding on top artificial intelligence, we're able to solve 2 key problems which e-commerce companies are facing. One is marketing. With artificial intelligence, we're able to cluster the target market, and you're able to know who do you want to target through what channel of marketing, so then you are able to address that specific market. Without artificial intelligence, this will not have been possible. Number 2 is we know last mile logistics is one of the biggest costs which e-commerce companies like us struggle with. Without artificial intelligence, through Google Maps, there is no way a driver will be able to navigate and do as many drops and as fast as possible, so then we're able to save those specific logistics costs, and then we pass those savings to the end consumer.
There's quite a number of projects that the government is putting in place to ensure that we empower the common man, those that are working and those that are seemingly not being appreciated by the community. But then from where you sit, what are these policies that you think the government should put in place to encourage such investments as KAPU?
Yeah, some of the investment, when you look at actually the e-commerce strategy addresses most of these questions, it's only a matter of basically rolling it and ensuring that it's implemented. When you look at one of the key challenges which many people want to invest in this specific space are struggling with is infrastructure. And there's a very clear plan on how we bring more and more population of Kenyans to the internet. Then the second question is the policy around e-commerce. For example, consumer protection law addresses a lot how things are done offline. It does not address, if you purchased online, how do you ensure that you are protected as a customer? I know there are specific bills which have been passed, like data protection policy, but still there is a lot of bills which needs to be passed, and regulation which to help us have specific policies in place for this specific. Then the last thing is basically funding. getting funding into the country requires a specific policy. It has to be an environment which is friendly. And so far, Kenya is ranking actually #1 from the funding into startups from the last year. You've seen the president announcing it, that we got $800 million US dollars worth of investment to Kenya specifically. And the guys who are coming second is Nigeria and South Africa, who are between $500 and $600 million.
As we come to the close, you've talked about so many things that involve couple. What is your target market?
Our target market is the urban majority. So here what it means urban majority, anybody who is in neighborhoods within the city, like Umoja, Githurai 45, Kawangware. These are the urban majority we are focusing on. And therefore, when you look at, and the reason why we are doing exactly that is basically the e-commerce adoption. It's much easier to approach, and it's much easier to consolidate and deliver to these specific neighborhoods. Thank you,
Cyrus. Looking forward to have you once again. That is Cyrus Oyego, the Chief Operating Officer at Kapo, giving us an insight on e-commerce in Kenya. Now,